So the thing about parental alienation is that it does hurt so many, and not just the fathers. I don't think the mothers do what they do with their children to hurt the children. I don't think that's what they mean to do. And I don't think they realize that the side effects of, pushing the father away and hurting the father bleeds onto the kids, and it hurts them worse. A father like myself, I've been through enough in life that, whether it's rejection or distance or, any other kind of, abuse, I've been through enough that I can deal with it. But my poor babies, especially the 5 oldest, this is my youngest here, he's just 5 days old, but the 5 older ones are not tempered with experience of dealing with pain and emotional hurt and all this distance, and I think that's the real crime here. So Missouri is passing HB 2808, which makes parental alienation a crime.
All right, we are going to go to a few questions. Representative Harris, do you have somebody in particular you're addressing it to?
As somebody that's been in the system as a child and as a parent, I can appreciate the impact that this has on families, on children, both parents, right? How many states are currently starting at that 50-50 mark?
It's 6.
So I guess part of my question would be, of those 6, what issues have we seen within those states? Has there been any major hiccups that have happened? Any data that shows that this has had a negative impact on those families?
No, we do not see any negative impact.
We talked a little bit, the family law section, I think, talked a little bit about, there was discussion of how delays impact things, and I would agree. And having been, a parent that's been through this, I can tell you my ex-wife and I had actually worked out parenting time on our own, and as soon as we sat down with the referee, it was completely dismissed, right? And I then got like 10% of what we had both agreed to, and hit with child support like beyond what we had agreed to as well. And I never got to see the judge for 9 months. So for 9 months, I went through not seeing my children like I should have.
And that's totally unacceptable.
I would agree. The problem is I have heard hundreds and hundreds of the same story. So while I agree maybe the statute currently shows that there's an ability there to act on that appropriately, I don't think it is being acted upon appropriately. And so I'm supportive of looking at change. Now, are there tweaks? Maybe. I don't know. But I think it's definitely worth the conversation to look at how can we truly put the kids first. We can't start at a point where the parents are deemed guilty of an issue, right? We have to start at the point where parents are equally just and equally caring and then prove otherwise.
And I think that's a good thing. My goal is to see that nationwide, worldwide. There's laws in other countries, but there's only a few laws in the U.S. that will punish an alienator for what they do to not just their ex, but their children. Their children learning to hate half of who they are, half of how they've been raised, half of their DNA. It gives them major self-esteem issues. And I'll show you a video here at the end how easy it is for a mother to brainwash a kid to agree with her that the father is this or the father is that or the father did this or the father did that. And instead of choosing a battle with the mother, or being pushed away emotionally from the mother, the children just adopt her point of view. And they adopt that point of view for survival, not from hatred, not from any, actual injury, but from just surviving, just being able to survive in a home where dad's name is like a curse word. And that's where it is with my ex and me. exes. So the way it worked with me, and this is documentable, my ex tried to get romantic with this fella that we met in Ireland, and he rejected her when she asked him to marry him for citizenship. But they were talking about moving in together before all that. I saw their messages. I've recorded their messages. And then she asked him to marry him. You know, I agreed. I was like, you know, if you want to go to Ireland so bad, ask Eden, because you've been talking with him so much. Why don't you ask him to marry you? So she did, and he rejected her. So she came back at me, and she's like, well, how about you ask his sister Lakin? So I did, and she said, yes, I'll marry you, sure. But, she said, I want a baby out of it. So this is a friend of my ex and myself. And so I asked my ex, while she was my wife at the time, said, is it okay if I give her a baby? She said, yeah, if we can move to Ireland, that'd be fine. So then we proceeded with the divorce, which I've been trying to get for like 8 years previous. I filed twice before that, just to get away from this woman. Insufferable. It was so hard to deal with. So I then did the divorce. A year later, I moved in with the girl in Ireland, and I tried to get her on birth control until we got married. I begged her. She wouldn't do it. So then I elected to get a vasectomy. And when I elected to get a vasectomy and I told her, she talked me out of it. She said, no, I still want to marry you. I still want a baby. So cancel it, please. So I wrote the doctor back. I've still got the email. It's on my archive.org. I can put links anyway for a reference purpose, but I canceled it. And then apparently in that time, like in the 2 weeks after, she got pregnant. And then the night before our wedding, she had some sort of BPD fit and this mental breakdown, and had her brothers like try to kill me. And then they both attacked me, and they beat me pretty good. My nose is still crooked from it. I had broken ribs, a broken hand. But then they went and ran to the cops and told the cops that I beat them up. Well, they came to me. I didn't go to them. And so anyway, a lot of that had to do with my ex, my wife that I divorced, getting in the ear of these kids. And one of those kids was the one that she was talking into marrying her and talking about moving in with him and this and this and that. So he's the one that attacked me. And so then now the sister, the one that, you know, has my baby in Ireland, and my ex-wife, both of which are still friends, have, you know, collaborated to alienate me against all 5 of my children. So the only thing I can say, I can warn in the future for the future generations or anybody getting married soon, is first of all, pick your wife carefully. Secondly, wait a couple years to have children. Don't have children right away. I didn't have children right away with my first wife. We waited almost 2 years to have our first. And we were together for 18 years. But so even with that, even with waiting, you know, you can still lose everything, including the most important thing, which is the relationship with your children. So when alienation is threatened, as it was me, she said if I ever divorced her, she'd turn the kids against me. And she did. That's what she intended to do. That's what she did do. And again, I'll put links in the description here. But start taking video. I had a dash cam, which recorded most of it. I had a Ring camera, which recorded most of it. But when there would be some sort of a, you know, battle, emotional battle or yelling match, I'd always slip on the record button. I'm not stupid. So I recommend that, because family court is not friendly to fathers. So hopefully, like with things such as in Missouri, like HB 2808, hopefully the dynamics in court will change, and the courts and the judges won't prefer the mother over the father. That 50-50 custody is the standard, not something that has to be fought for. So I don't know about how I'll work it out with his mother, not going well with his mother. But who knows? All I know is I'll never give up on my kids, ever. And I'll fight for fathers' rights now for the rest of my life. I may not splice that onto the end of this video, the one I was referring to, but I'll put some links in the description. Anyway, take care.
Children somehow convince themselves, they'll say, no, my mum never spoke badly about my dad. My mum never did, because children are just programmed to be on their mum's side. It's just how we are designed. But you'll then ask them, okay, but then at what age did you stop speaking to your dad? I stopped speaking to him when I was 7. Why? He was so rude to my mum. He used to do this to my... How do you remember all of that? Oh, I just know. Who told you all of that? Oh, was that your mum who told you that? No, she never spoke badly. I just heard it from other people. Chances are their mum brainwashed them, but they don't want to admit it. Children